Welcome back, everybody. United Mutual did its member survey recently, and here with some of the results and interesting information, I want to talk to Georgiana Willis from as a director, and Allison Bach, our president over there at United. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
Thank you.
So you guys do this survey every year?
Oh, no.
Or is it?
Oh,
oh, so it's
gosh.
brand new. That's what I was going to.
Brand
That was
new,
my first question. So you've
Yeah.
never. What made you decide? Okay, we want to kind of do a resident survey and get this
Right.
information. What made you say this is an important thing that we should kind of get this info on?
Well, it's probably the result of not having any factual information about what people actually want, what they do, where they're from, why they came here, and so on. So a survey had never been done in United to our knowledge, at least within living memory. And so we looked at ways of doing it. And of course, surveying has changed a great deal. It's modernized. There are lots of survey platforms available now that are low cost, that are fast, that people can use quickly. And to get a look at our population, which, by the way, rolls over at 5% every year.
Right, so it's an ever-changing demographic and population, right?
So even if past surveys had been done, maybe 10 years ago or so, we'd have 50% new people anyhow to ask these questions of.
There
so
you go.
we did it, and we did it through the newsletter. Every couple of weeks, a United newsletter comes out.
Okay.
We've got about 3,900 subscribers to that newsletter out of 6,323 Manor residents.
Okay.
So we get a very good penetration, and we got 798 responses. Can we call them 800?
Sure, absolutely.
All right,
I'm with
okay.
you. Let's round up.
About 21%. Yeah.
And so you asked 19 questions,
19
and there
questions.
were and there were kind of we'll go through some of them here in a second.
Yeah.
And it went through June through July. You basically said get these back to us at some point.
Yeah.
And and I guess were people asking why are we doing this survey?
Not really. No, you can't buy a cup of coffee today without getting a survey after it about how satisfied you were with the service. So I think people are used to being asked questions about how good was the service, how are we doing. So we got great responses. I say over 20% response, and because it was fast, easy, click and take the survey and you're done. That made it easy.
Well, there you go.
There was no paper and pencil. There was no mailing it back. There was no losing it. Just do it and be done.
All right, Georgiana, we're going to get you in here. What are some of the results? We got lots of charts. We got some of the up and downs and bar graphs.
It won't take long. We'll go through them quickly and painlessly as possible. But anyway, the first question was just sort of to get an idea of the location of the respondents. And most came from gates 1 and 3.
Okay.
And the least responses came from gates 5 and people near gates 5 and 6, which you understand because we have less real estate there.
Yeah, and there were owners who replied. They were resident owners. So we did have a few renters, but they were still on the newsletter list, so they had a right to reply.
Right. The majority of folks were those who owned and lived in their manor. Okay.
Correcto.
And it kind of goes down there. I'm renting, and I live in a manor. Some folks just live there, but they don't neither own. There may be a relative or something like that. That's kind of like a cousin or an uncle or something.
Right. Correct.
Still, that was a good response, 92 or 93%.
Yeah. Terrific.
Well, next.
And where do you reside before moving?
In California. We're a known quantity in California, a desired location. But this is interesting. California, of course, was the major, followed by Midwest, Northeast, the West, non-California. And then if they came from outside the U.S., this is interesting. We have people from Antarctica. I assume that wasn't a joke.
I know. Maybe they were researchers.
That's the only rationale. I'd like to meet you, whoever you are.
We've been researchers
please.
there for 20 years. We decided to retire somewhere just a little warmer.
Yeah. But you see how the breakdown goes, and this is quite interesting. So probably people did research online and found out what a great place we are.
Right. And I think these communities are becoming more and more known in the world in terms of that kind of thing. With the spread, I know we're not Leisure World here anymore, but Leisure Worlds all over the country and those kind of things. They're becoming something that's more and more appealing and people know more about.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay, so how many years have you lived in Laguna Woods Village?
Yes, the most respondents had lived here, or the greatest number, for 3 years.
Okay.
But you've got them anywhere from 1 to or 0, less than a year, up to 34 or 36 years, rather.
36 years in the
Yeah.
village.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, so I imagine there's quite a difference in the HOA between then and now. So, but I'd say people who've lived here years 1 through 3 were the highest number, and varying in between.
Okay. And then we have, you had 3 factors that most important in your decision to move to Laguna Woods Village. And this is a very telling one, I imagine.
Yes, it is. This is an important one. Location, location, location.
Yeah.
Conrad Hilton was right. Isn't that the quote from Conrad
Yes, I
Hilton?
think so.
And then safety from crime, the cost of entry, we are a very, very good bargain in Southern California. And then recreation and weather. Weather is kind of, I mean, you can blend
Yeah.
that into location.
Yeah, I'd say, I mean, for the, aside from location, weather, yeah, I think really the other ones are pretty even, in terms of like, safety and cost
right,
and recreation,
right.
a little bit of everything, especially since people are choosing all 3, 3 of 3 choices there, that those, there's never just one factor that gets a kid.
That's right.
Unless it's grandkids, then you have to move.
Yeah, right, exactly. And it really also puts some context to the idea that people just come here to golf or to play X. That's not the main factor for the most part.
Right. So, all things considered, how satisfied are you with the move here?
Well,
so that was another question you got there.
Yeah, 51% are very satisfied. Then it was 33% who are satisfied. I guess it was 14% who are somewhat satisfied, and there were 17 respondents, or 2%, who are not satisfied. So, but again, you never know, is that due to failing health or other issues, family issues, et cetera?
Okay.
Because a lot of times people make a move because they want to be closer to family.
Right, and that's pretty, I mean, for satisfied and very satisfied, I mean, we're talking about 84% or so, if either satisfied or very satisfied, so that's a good number.
Yeah.
So when you look at this, does it make you want to say, okay, well, let's do a follow-up survey? What are some of the kind of things? Is there an opportunity, do you think, maybe in a future survey to kind of go deeper dives on some of the questions?
Sure, there is, because you have to look at that 16-17% who are not satisfied and find out why. And actually, in the open-ended questions later in the survey, some of that came out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes people had specific issues as to their manor. They had a plumbing problem. They had, a contractor problem that soured their view.
Nothing makes you more upset when you move into a new place than you're doing plumbing immediately, or you're tearing out drywall, or something along those wood rot. And so that can really sour folks to their whole idea of coming here and having a new life.
And it could be temporary, and they'll be, as soon as they get through with that, they're okay. But you're right, there's follow-up.
Ask them next year.
Yes, exactly.
See where their head's at. How satisfied are you with the neighborhood as a place to live? There's another one here.
Well, that's 56% were satisfied. And that is very satisfied.
Yeah,
that's 443 people. The next group was 32% are satisfied. About 10% are somewhat satisfied. And then it was a 3% or 25 people who were not satisfied. And so you don't know, we don't know what the specifics are here.
Right.
Because sometimes you could have a personality clash with a neighbor, and it has nothing to do with your housing.
Yeah.
So
I don't like the way they pick up the trash. Who knows?
or I don't like the noise you make.
The dog.
The lawnmowers start too
barks.
early in the morning. Sure, and there are all those factors, but I think probably maybe some of that, like you said, the open-ended questions at the end of the survey may have come out, and again, would be an interesting thing to kind of follow up on folks, like what would make you more satisfied? What would it be? That kind of thing. So there you go. Let's see, last community which you lived, would you say moving Laguna Woods has improved your quality of life? That seems to be the majority there.
Yeah, that was an interesting question. And again, that means many things to different people. What is the satisfaction? Are they satisfied because they're closer to family? Are they satisfied because it's cheaper, or things are being done for them? But this whole feeling of my life is happier or less happy than it was this question tries to reach that in sort of a gestalt way.
Sure.
Yeah.
And sometimes, some people like I remember I bought my condo, and the reason
Right.
that people were moving is because they couldn't do stairs anymore.
True.
So then some
Right.
people, they didn't want to leave, but they had
Right.
to. So I can imagine some
Yeah.
people are like, well, we kind of needed to come here because
Right.
of certain circumstances.
Right.
So that just
Right.
like they missed their old life, they missed their old neighborhood, whatever it might
Right.
be.
Right.
So who knows?
Yeah,
but
this is a touchy-feely one, and it's hard to get to the bottom of the specifics here. But maybe it's not our business.
So Laguna Woods provides a safe and secure environment. Yeah, this one you couldn't even say anybody was upset
Well,
with this one.
51% said they strongly agree with that statement. Another 45% agree.
Right.
And then when you get down to the disagree, it was 3%.
Yeah, you can
And then-
barely see that line.
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
great.
and then the close to invisible one, which is strongly disagree, that was 5 respondents.
Yeah.
So
They might have got a recent ticket or something.
yeah, that'll do it.
That'll do it for sure.
Yeah, I remember after I first moved here, I was going over to a friend's condo because she was out of the country and she'd rented out, and I was going to take care of something over there, and I was stopped.
Ooh, dangerous person.
Yeah, I got a ticket, and you're thinking, I'm just going to do a friend a favor, and what can I say?
So that would be the day. If that happened that day, I get a strongly disagree out of that.
A lot of it is contextual.
Satisfied with the management. This is definitely one that hits you home in terms of the
Right.
HOA and the other folks that are doing
Yeah,
things here.
and VMS, yes. So again, looking at very high agreement, strongly agree and agree that by and large people are satisfied, are happy, very happy. And I think reasonability is the factor here.
Right.
People are reasonable and realistic about what to expect.
What to expect, what can be done, what can't be done.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
This day and age.
Right.
Yep.
And the village, I certainly, in my goings through the village and seeing amenities and things like that, I can't imagine being terribly unsatisfied with everything that's here.
Right.
And the cost, compared to the
Right.
cost people pay for these services and amenities and pools and rooms and all the things. Yeah, so
Right.
yeah, great satisfaction there.
Right, and also, sometimes people are going to complain, well, there's a wait or this or that.
Yeah.
And I've pointed out before, this isn't a country club. We offer amenities. And one person's response, oh yeah, it is a country club. And I'm thinking, okay, you want to spend a lot more money than I want to spend. But we do have a broad range of amenities, but sometimes people may end up wanting to join a private club where they may have more of that stuff available. You never know.
Sure. Well, there you go. Then you ask folks, what change would they make?
Well, this was
You can
what
make one,
got
second change.
a lot of responses.
Right,
And
okay.
so maybe I could go over some
Sure,
of them because
please.
they gave. This is it. The question was what one change, and if you could make a second change. We left it totally open-ended, so it brought a variety of responses, which fell sort of into maybe 5 categories, and it would impact GRF, VMS, maintenance, landscaping, and fees. So I'll just go through this briefly with you. And so far as GRF, residents want the crime report back for a better idea of how things are going in their neighborhoods, and they want more pickleball courts. Others want fees charged for pickleball, tennis, and lawn bowling proportioned as golf fees. In addition, they want to eliminate underused amenities such as the equestrian center. Other comments had to do with reducing or freezing the $7,500 fee when people move in, and wanted to remove the blinking stop signs, the flashing stop signs.
Sure.
And then the next set of comments were related to VMS. And there were numerous requests to dissolve VMS and hire professional management, a professional management company to hire contracts with private companies because many felt the costs associated with being an employer were too high and want to remove some of those costs. Concerns were also expressed that people were being priced out of their homes by the growing assessment costs. And there were also complaints about long waits for appliance replacement. Another one for 13 weeks waiting for a wiring inspection.
Oh, wow.
And then one about a condo being unlivable for 15 months when neighboring units flooded her.
Oh, okay.
So,
A lot of these are really specific.
Yeah, this is a really drilled down.
Yeah, drilled down to something awful that had happened.
Right.
But then there was also a comment, everything is just fine.
Right, yeah.
So you're getting the whole gamut there.
They're skewing the pie chart.
Right. Isn't that a perfect chart? I mean,
But anyway, while there were, so far as maintenance, while there were complaints about constant sewage problems or water drainage after rains, there were frustrations with the first person who would come from maintenance saying they were unqualified to diagnose it or incompetent or whatever. And normally then they complain again and the same person comes back. And so it prolongs taking care of the problem.
Right.
And it can be exacerbated and sometimes, you know. But I think one resident complained about some glass around the trash area, and another one about a verbally abusive
Seems like, again, some pretty drilled down complaints there.
Yeah.
Let's jump over to things that people enjoy about living here.
Right. Oh, yeah.
I want to make sure we get it. I want to make sure we get all our graphs in.
The clubs. The fact that there are so many clubs, over 50 clubs of various interests. They're open to all. You can join, you can not join, you can drop in, you can, get heavily involved. So the clubs, special interest clubs, the athletic activities, classes and workshops. So they also love the location, the landscaping, peace and quiet, proximity, security and safety. The variety of amenities available.
Yeah, terrific. And then some other fun things like access to the internet and transportation, which are really interesting questions in terms of, the services that are provided here.
Right, exactly. No, it was interesting to see that people want to drive their cars. They want the independence of being able to jump in the car. And,
most of the people, 96% are driving their cars.
Yeah.
Okay, and the internet every day. So again,
every day,
Every day.
This is interesting. Every single day, of course, given the fact that we had a population here under 10 years for the most part, who responded to this, they are more internet savvy and tied to getting their news and information electronically.
And then we asked the next one to briefly share feedback on all aspects of Mutual's laundry rooms.
Oh, yeah.
This one might take a minute.
You wanted to handle that one?
Okay, wait a minute, I'm on the wrong one, I think.
Okay, we're on laundry rooms, right? Frequent comments that people had for the laundry rooms?
Yeah, and in United, a number.
Some folks didn't use them but found them convenient for washing. So some people aren't even using the service.
So they're really all over the map. But and there were specific instances where it took a very long time to get parts to repair a machine, which is frustrating. That maybe something got stolen out of a washer or dryer. I don't know why anybody would do that, but it can happen. Nobody complained about the $1 a load price.
Well, let's see.
It's a bargain.
It's the best deal here. Maybe the only one. But anyway, but I think it was, even people who aren't using them, who have their own washing machines, appreciate that they're there in case they have extra.
Or in case one of theirs fails or something like that too. There just goes down, you can walk over there for $1.
Right.
The epoxy that's going on in the wastewater line program. That's
Yeah,
that's like 69% said yes to that. Yeah.
Get it going. So
that's
there's
good.
some marching orders there.
Nothing makes people crankier than plumbing problems, backups, unable to use a shower, a toilet, a tub.
Right. And then landscaping is another one. I want to make sure we get through these. How many times a month would you like to see landscaping going? So twice a month is basically seems to be the biggest response there.
Yeah. And depending on the time of year, that's actually what they're getting right now. So it ranges between 2 and 4 times a month for mowing,
Mm-hmm.
and then the shrub bed maintenance is once every 3 or 4 months. But people are, this is what they say they would like, and you know what, they're getting it right now.
There you
for
go.
the most part.
And then one of our last ones here, increased service comes with increased costs. Is that acceptable?
Well, heck no. I want it free. I want it now.
What's the problem there? Why would I have to pay for something just because I got more of it?
Yeah.
The more you buy, the more you save.
But you know, the fact that some significant percentage said yes, they would,
Yeah.
means that people are reasonable.
Yeah, right.
I mean, we're all living in the same world. We're not in a protected bubble.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, and I think too, like some of the complaints had to do with the leaf blowers.
Right.
Right.
And I know in my neighborhood that there's, and we're not talking about where there might be dirt from edging or something
Right.
like that. The parking lot. So
Sure.
the
Gotta do
people
it
complain
somehow.
about the noise pollution or whatever, and so I can understand that, because when you look at the cost on an annual basis just for blowing dust around a parking lot, I mean, they do send out these machines that water everything down and sort of clean
Yeah.
to begin with, but if it's maybe costing you $60,000 a year to just blow stuff around, I don't see the purpose.
There you go. Well, if people want to get involved and
Yep.
get more involved, they can come meet the candidates at 10:30 a.m. Monday.
No, tomorrow, Friday.
I'm sorry, Friday. This Friday.
Yeah, tomorrow we have Meet the
Friday,
Candidates
Meet
for
the
United,
Candidates.
10:30 in the morning in the boardroom or on
There
TV6.
you go.
And we have 8 candidates, including 2 incumbents. And I do hope people will pay attention to the
Absolutely.
messages, to the backgrounds, and vote when the time comes.
Come on out this tomorrow, 10:30 in the
Right.
boardroom, folks, for the Meet the Candidates for United. Georgiana Willis and Allison Bach, thank you so much for joining us.
Michael,
Lots of
a
good
pleasure.
information there. I hope
Thank
you get
you.
a lot of good use out of it.
Thank
It's
you.
been real.
You're watching This Day. We're going to do some movie previews when we come back.